I've got a bone-chilling story to share with you all that happened to me on Facebook. Buckle up because this one gave me goosebumps for weeks. A while back, I received a friend request from a profile that seemed normal at first glance. Let's call this person Alex. The profile had a regular profile picture, a few posts, and a decent number of friends, so I thought, why not accept the request? But that's when things started to get weird. Alex began flooding my feed with cryptic and unsettling posts. These posts weren't your typical updates or memes. They were disturbing, dark, and seemed to be hinting at something sinister. At first, I thought it might be some edgy art project or a peculiar sense of humor, so I didn't pay much attention. However, things took a sinister turn when I started receiving private messages from Alex. The messages were disjointed and made very little sense. They contained fragments of my personal life that I had never shared online. Details that only someone close to me would know. How could this stranger possibly know about these things? As if that wasn't unsettling enough, the profile picture of Alex started to change. Each new picture was more unsettling than the last. They were distorted, glitched, and seemed to convey a sense of malevolence. It was as if I was being watched by something not entirely human. The breaking point came when Alex started to mention events that were happening in real time, events that I hadn't posted about anywhere. It was as if they were right there with me, even though we had never met in person. I began to feel like my privacy was being invaded, my every move monitored by this enigmatic presence. Terrified and confused, I decided to investigate. I did a reverse image search on Alex's profile picture, and to my horror, I found out that the picture was a manipulated version of a well-known painting of a demon. The pieces were falling into place, and it seemed like I was dealing with something beyond the realm of ordinary explanation. I took screenshots of our conversations and reported the profile to Facebook, explaining the situation. But here's where it gets even more chilling. Within minutes of my report, the profile vanished. It was as if Alex had never existed on the platform. To this day, I have no idea who or what Alex was. Was it a hacker, a disturbed individual, or something more supernatural? The experience left me paranoid and wary of who I connect with online. It's a stark reminder that the digital world can be just as dangerous and unsettling as the real one, and that sometimes the things that lurk in the shadows of social media are far more disturbing than we could ever imagine. It all began innocently enough. I logged into my Facebook account one evening, and there it was, a friend request from someone I didn't recognize. Let's call them Evelyn. The profile picture was eerie, a shadowy figure with hollow eyes that seemed to bore into my soul. Against my better judgment, I accepted the request, thinking it was just a quirky friend of a friend situation. Within moments, Evelyn's profile began to flood my feed with unsettling content. Distorted images, cryptic messages, and bizarre videos that left me feeling deeply uneasy. The more I tried to ignore it, the more invasive the content became. It was as if Evelyn was targeting me specifically, bombarding me with disturbing imagery that left me questioning my own sanity. But it didn't stop there. I started receiving private messages from Evelyn, messages that seemed to know far too much about my personal life. They mentioned places I had been, conversations I had had in private, and even referenced my deepest fears. How could a stranger possibly know all this? As the days went on, the situation escalated. Evelyn's messages became more sinister, filled with threats and disturbing details that made it clear I was being watched. They knew about my daily routine, my habits, and even sent pictures of my own house. Pictures that were taken from angles that suggested they had been right outside, lurking in the shadows. Terrified, I confided in my friends about what was happening. Some of them suggested I report the profile, but every time I tried, I would receive an error message or my report would mysteriously vanish. It was as if Facebook itself was protecting Evelyn, enabling this digital stalker to torment me without consequence. One night, as I lay awake in bed, I heard a faint tapping sound coming from my window. My heart raced as I cautiously approached, and what I saw made my blood run cold. It was Evelyn's profile picture projected onto my window. I screamed and called the police, but when they arrived, there was no trace of anyone outside. Determined to put an end to this nightmare, I started digging into Evelyn's profile. I discovered that the profile had been active for years, and it seemed to be connected to a string of disappearances and eerie occurrences. In a last-ditch effort to break free from Evelyn's grip, I decided to delete my Facebook account altogether. Miraculously, the moment I hit the delete button, the messages stopped, the eerie posts vanished, and it was as if I had finally escaped the clutches of this digital demon. But the scars remain. I live with the constant fear that Evelyn could return, that the sinister algorithm that powered her could find its way back into my life.